Starting with the traction on this New Balance Kaiha Road. I believe that's how you say it. If you pronounce it a different way, you can leave me a comment below. But let's get on with this traction. As you can see, we have a nice little basic outsole traction pattern. You have this black, they're almost octagon shaped pods that basically cover the top to bottom over this fresh foam, which I'll touch on in a second, just to give you some of that rubber protection to prolong the use of this midsole. And like I said, the rubber pattern, the outsole rubber is pretty soft, but it's nice. It's very lightweight and it'll do the job. Now as we move on up, the Fresh Foam 10 cushion setup from New Balance is really, really nice. Now as you can see by the midsole, it's super chunky. It gives you that, that really, really chunky vibe underneath foot. The shoe, when it's on your foot, it's extremely comfortable. They talk about it being one of their most plush cushioning setups, and I would agree with that statement. Now putting my foot in the shoe immediately, I could feel just a lightweight, comfortable feel underfoot, and then the response by just even walking in this shoe. Now the midsole and the outsole has this rocker setup, so it's just kind of naturally from heel to toe pushing you forward, propelling you, but it also gives you this little bit of a response feel, and you could feel your foot really cushion inside that midsole, and then it just propelling off. It's kind of hard to explain, but once you get it in foot, you can tell. And that's really the whole premise of this shoe, is this midsole setup, Fresh Foam 10. Now it gives you the same stylistic vibe as the outsole with these pod looking octagon shaped style round pod things from, like I said, medial all the way to the lateral side. The midsole's in white. Now as you move up, it has like a gradient from white to black that wraps around the heel as well, and then you have the Fresh Foam 10 logo on the lateral toe box area. But just a really cool vibe. Like I said, it's super chunky. Now as we move up to the upper is really minimal. It's like a synthetic mesh. Upper is very, like I said, very, very minimal. There's some movement. It's very lightweight, which is nice considering it's a running, walking shoe. You don't want it to be too heavy. They did add just an extra area on the toe box for durability. You could fill it inside. I don't know if it's just like an extra insert on the toe box area, so if your foot drags or something, it just doesn't tear that mesh right up. You have the in black logo for the New Balance. It's very undercover on the upper, which I really like. They kept it really basic, and I really like that with the shoe. You have the New Balance logo on the actual heel on the lateral side, and then basically your Achilles pillow is pretty small and minor. It's not a real big thing when you feel it in foot. Like I said, this shoe is basically built off of this midsole. Now the lacing system, just nice flat black laces, and then the tongue is not attached to the midfoot or anything like that, so there's a lot of movement there. It's very thin, lightweight. Like I said, the shoe comes in at $99, and most of that is based on this cushion setup. You can find a different New Balance shoe with the same cushion setup with a little bit more complex upper if that's what you're looking for. I wanted to see what this shoe was all about, coming in under $100. That's pretty affordable for a running shoe nowadays that you see on most brands, well over 150 bucks. So I'm excited to kind of check these out. But these are the Kaiha Road Fresh Foam 10 from New Balance. Like I said, they fit true to size. There is a little room, but they do have a standard wide and then a medium fit choice to choose from on these shoes, which is good. But these do fit me lengthwise perfectly. So like I said, I'm excited to try these on. Yeah, the New Balance Fresh Foam 10 Kaiha Road. I don't normally do this, but when I do, I shoe review. I'm out. Peace.